It's time for the Mohney Show. High atop the third story of the historic Gibson House overlooking beautiful downtown Centralia. The star of the show, Steve Mohney.
Yes. Welcome, folks, to the late January edition of the Mohney Show. I'm Steve Mohney, broadcasting high above the streets in the downtown area of Centralia. With me is Paul Walker.
That's right. And I'm here as well.
You are here as well. We've made it
We're off to a fast start today.
Mainly through the dry January.
Yeah.
Everybody was talking about that. Make you feel better?
Yeah, I'm still mad about the snow.
We'll get to that in just a second here.
You tell me there's going to be snow. We got no snow.
I know.
I'm mad.
Let's just think about this for a second. Last week's show, I wasn't feeling a whole like really that good.
No.
And ended up getting sick. I mean, I had chills and all that stuff. So felt really crappy on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, pretty much through the weekend. But it hangs on.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about ways that you can, feel better, hopefully build your immune system up. And, I mean,
yeah.
What's so funny about building the immune system? You
just said, hang on. And for some reason, I wanted to call you Sloopy. I don't know why.
So this brings me to my, and again, I'm
sorry, folks.
No. Again, that's what this show's about. It's about random thoughts that pop into our head. So with that being said, have you seen that movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Oh yeah.
Oh God. That when he's out in the pool.
Oh, I don't remember it all, but I remember I liked it. Although I also remember I don't know if I quite understood the whole thing.
You have to watch it a couple of times.
But I was entertained.
It's like a fantasy thing of what could have happened.
Yeah.
So anyway, Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
You've got to watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I mean, it's my pick of the week.
Okay, there you go.
Oh man, it's on. Is it on Hulu?
It's on somewhere. Just look it up.
Yeah, Doris knows.
Yeah, exactly. Doris is here today.
Yeah, Doris is here.
Okay, she's our
producer.
Producer, technical advisor, and spiritual leader.
I would certainly say spiritual leader.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I've got some information here before we take the break and before we talk to Brian. That's coming up in just a couple minutes here. This is information about folks that are going to go out on tour this year.
Okay,
so good. I thought you might be interested in that.
Absolutely.
The Black Crowes, they've announced a tour. Have you ever seen them?
I have not, and I probably won't. I think for me to go to them, it's going to have to be with someone else I want to see too.
Exactly.
It's not that I don't like them, but I don't know if I like them enough. And maybe I haven't listened enough to them.
Well, here's the deal with me is I've been listening to a guy named Steve Gorman. And he does a radio show. Steve Gorman Rocks. I think it's from Westwood One. And he's the former drummer for the Black Crowes.
Okay.
And this guy is really good.
Yeah.
He's one of the better radio hosts that I've heard in quite some time. So that's the reason I was mentioning that.
Okay.
He's not in the band anymore. He broke up with them.
Oh, yeah. Hey, had enough of you. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's okay.
Okay.
This you might be interested in.
Oh, yeah.
Billy Joel to release his first single in 17 years.
Okay.
I wonder if it's like the Down East or Alexa.
Is it Downtown Girl?
I don't know.
Is it kind of putting a cap on the Christy Brinkley, She was uptown and now it's been a few years. It's kind of downtown now.
Downtown. She's got a different prefix too.
I think so.
Yeah. She still looks great.
Okay.
Anyway,
New song.
Doobie Brothers announced a tour with Steve Winwood.
Yeah.
So now there you go.
I would go see that. And I don't know if Steve Winwood is going to be on the entire tour or just some selected dates.
Well, they say Robert Cray as well.
Okay. Yeah. So it's going to be selected dates.
They kick things off June 15th in Seattle.
Oh, really?
White River Amphitheater.
Okay. Yeah. And they'll also be at Ridgefield as well.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
Okay.
The 16th.
So
Saturday up at because the White River Amphitheater and the Ridgefield Amphitheater are owned by Live Nation or whatever. So whenever they come through, and so is the gorge.
Yeah.
So sometimes they're at all three. Most times they're at two of them. Most times I see that it's White River and Ridgefield, and usually they're back to back.
And really a reminder, and I guess some advice. The show's on June 15th. That's my son's birthday, Stephen.
Okay.
And then Aaron's birthday's the 16th.
Oh.
Of June.
What?
A day apart.
Glad that you scheduled that.
3 years. Yeah, I did.
Good work.
But if you want to go to the one in Seattle, what's it called?
White River.
White River.
Yeah.
You should leave now.
Yeah. That's in Auburn. It's up past the Emerald Downs and up Muckleshoot.
You'll need a
casino up there.
Yeah, you'll need a road map. Because,
well, getting in, you need to get there early, but unless you're going to leave before, the encore, then plan on taking a 3-hour exit to get out of there on the 2-lane highway that they got out there.
You know what? Sometimes they just block it off, and it's 2 in, 2 out.
Yeah. I mean, getting in usually isn't the problem.
I go to
normally I like to get there early. So.
Not White River. I go to the Clark County one.
Yeah, Ridgefield.
The Ridgefield. That's so easy.
Yes, exactly.
Very nice. Anyway, so those tickets they go on sale on the 26th. What's the date today?
Today is the 24th.
The 24th as we tape this today. And we were just talking about her. Avril Lavigne announces a North American Greatest Hits Tour.
Okay.
That show will be exactly 5 minutes long. Wow. That's it as far as the entertainment stuff. These are headlines that I just thought were kind of funny here. 2 Florida men behind bars for driving 199 miles an hour.
Wow.
Deputies say these guys are in jail right now. They were doing 199 miles an hour in a 70-mile-per-hour zone while driving a red Chevrolet Camaro. I didn't know that thing could go 199.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is that true?
I don't know. I've got a 14, and they say the top speed's 160.
Okay.
I'm not talking about your 6-cylinder either.
So let's bring this local.
Okay.
Let's bring this home here. Let's tie it in to where we are. Where could you
Nowhere
take a car and get it up to 199 in the Lewis County and South Thurston County area? I mean, there's a question, right?
I don't know. I'd have to ask around, I guess. I mean, you went down to River.
You can't have too many curves in the stretch of
you need a straight
here,
stretch. I mean, if you went down to Riverdale, Raceway, that's only 1/8 of a mile, so you wouldn't be able to do that there.
I mean, even the long straight road there at the Port of Chehalis there is not. I don't know if that would be long enough.
Maybe there's also Henrio Road in between Winlock and Toledo.
Okay,
all right,
here's the deal, though. If you're going to go 199, you've got to consider how long it's going to
take to get
stop.
up to it. Yeah, then stop. Yeah, exactly.
And 199, that's
maybe
this thing's hopped up.
I don't know if you want to get to a 199 and then in a block there's a 3-way stop.
No, and hopefully your car doesn't have 1965 drum brakes on the front. Hold on. Things coming off the ground, baby. Oh, okay. And with all that being said, and maybe this is the reason the doomsday clock is at 90 seconds to midnight.
What's that mean?
It means that we're in big trouble here.
Okay.
It means that somebody did 199 miles an hour. It means that it means that restaurant food is not very good. And it costs too much, and that's why the doomsday clock's at 90 seconds till the top of the hour.
Did they, by the way, put names of those perpetrators? And I'm wondering if their last names in Florida were McFly.
No, he didn't.
Okay, just wondering, right? Doris? That's not Dora, right?
Yes, they're
Doris,
two juveniles. And so, I'm not going to read their names. You never know. Deputies
Yeah,
Said
we
they
wouldn't
made-
want to, disparage any Florida teens up here in Lewis County, Washington.
Well, they did say the deputies for Orange County say that they did make 157 arrests, issued 1,290 citations, and seized 54 vehicles in 2023.
Okay.
They say they have zero tolerance for street racing here in Orange County. That's Florida.
Okay, that's Florida.
Those guys are in.
And by the way, when you ask police chiefs and sheriffs, they will tell you, why are these tickets so high? We don't know. We don't get any of the money. Where's all this money? It's odd. All these traffic tickets are always written, but no one ever gets the money. Where's it go?
It goes.
Paul,
it goes to the rainy day fund.
Yeah, the rainy day fund. It goes to the what the blow up the world fund there, or whatever.
Yeah,
you
well,
just
we're going to
talked
talk about doomsday.
Doomsday goes to the doomsday fund.
On to this story here,
Anyway,
folks, if you're having trouble keeping track, and I am too.
this is our life. This is what we do literally every day. We're in there, we're talking, and we go, you know what? We should do this on the show.
The Doomsday Clock press conference has determined just how close we are to the end of the world.
Okay. Now,
The clock reads 90 seconds to midnight, as it has been for the past year, which is still the closest it's ever been to striking midnight, symbolizing the end of the world, Paul. It was set up back in 1947, and it operates as a wake-up call for the world about global threats like nuclear war and dangerous technologies.
so it's been in effect since 1947.
Yeah.
That's a very long clock, because either that or they've just been wrong an awful lot.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well,
the year 2000, we're supposed to have airplanes falling out of the sky when it hit midnight. Remember that?
Ding, ding, ding.
That whole thing? Wow. Yeah. Y2K.
Yeah.
Everyone calls Valentine's Day a fraud because it's just, it's just to sell dinner and some chocolates.
Which I like.
But Y2K, talk about a fraud.
That was fun. It was. I was at the Lucky Eagle playing the biggest hits.
I can't believe they allowed the Lucky Eagle to be open.
We were on generator that night.
Oh, okay. Shut it down.
Yeah, just in case the entire power grid failed.
Yes, exactly.
We were on generator. Anyway, those are just a couple of our funny little things.
Okay, I like that. All right.
Are you ready to get fit?
I am, and I've already started, because we talked to Brian a week ago,
right?
But now we're going to do it. Yeah, we
we talked to Brian. And then I got sick immediately.
Yeah, of course.
And so I didn't, but I didn't feel good. But it gave me time to think about what I would like to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy, when you don't feel good, you really, you feel like doing nothing. You just feel like crap.
Yes, exactly.
So you're walking up these stairs down here. It's like, and I'm coming up the stairs that Wednesday, and there's a gal that works here, and she's looking down at me, and I'm like, oh boy, and I didn't feel good anyway. So, I take 2 steps and, today I feel a lot better.
Well, yeah,
obviously.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll get information.
And we'll skip other incidents as well.
Yes, we will. Stomach discomfort, and so on and so forth.
But Brian Perman, we call him the coach. He's our fitness coach. Great guy. He's got a new column out on the Eli Network.
And it is called
Keeping Death at a Respectable Distance. We're going to blow that out. He's got a second column that's
excuse me.
And
I would rather if you didn't use that terminology after my stomach discomfort.
We're going to inform a lot of people about it.
Yeah, so. Thank you very much. Okay. I'm sensitive to certain...
Yes. Believe me.
Yeah.
So
sorry. I didn't feel good.
Yeah. Doris is shaking her head.
She's like,
she's got a lot of spiritual work to do with us here. That's for sure.
Just go to the break so we can
Brian's coming up next. Brian Perman.
Right here on the Mohney Show on the way next. And we are back with the Mohney Show. Paul, we've been talking about it's January. A lot of folks want to get in shape, but that fizzles out about 2 weeks into it, which it probably, what do we have, the 17th, 18th?
Yeah.
So it's starting to fizzle out at this point right now. And so you want to stay the course, I guess you could say. So exercising, eating better, some exercise. One thing that I've been doing real quickly here, we've got Brian standing by, but rather than sit on the couch and do nothing, I go outside.
Yeah.
I walk up and down the driveway, or I just do something in the garage or whatever. And I think it helps. I mean, I know it helps.
Yeah.
So anyway, with all that being said, we have a special guest. Go ahead.
Brian Perman is here with
Yes.
us. And Brian is, an ex-classmate, so to speak, a year or two behind me at Tumwater High School. And as we talk about this a little bit, we've been talking about doing this for a couple of years.
Right.
Brian and I reconnected, and I don't even remember how we did, Brian, but I looked, I think I saw a picture of you and I go, what the heck happened to him? He looks great.
Fantastic.
He's in shape and stuff. And I go, and I think it was some of you were talking about one of the programs that you and your wife do, and it caught my attention. But either way, we reconnected. You have a little bit of a side business going there as well, with some of the supplements, and I still buy those from you. But tell us about what this is. Now, you have a brand new column, and it's on the Eli Network. It'll be on the Eli Sports Network as well. It'll all be connected together. It's called Keeping Death at a Respectable Distance. And I love that. And tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to this point. And again, we want to remind people, Brian will be the first one to tell you, he's not a doctor. He's not this, he's a guy that figured out how to live a lot healthier.
Yes.
And that's what you want to share with us.
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks for having me, for one thing. And yes, all hail mighty THS, class of 85 here. And also, as far as my local roots go, I graduated of the Evergreen State College. So kudos to the Greeners out there. Yeah, go Evergreen. So, no, I moved down to California after I graduated in '92, worked in the entertainment business, did all kinds of amazing things with artists we all know and love. And that got me down here. And then life took a bit of a left turn from there, and ended up getting into health and wellness. And it was because I was not healthy and well. Honestly, I had got to a point in my early mid 30s where I was turning up sick 4 or 5 days out of every month. And when I say sick, first of all, this is all in the column. So go read episode 1, and you'll see my story in there. But just briefly, it wasn't always like this. I was a mess. And when I say I was a mess, I was at my heaviest weight-wise, felt very sluggish. But worse than that, I was very toxic on the inside. And boy, I just had no kind of flexibility. I had no energy. Like I say, I couldn't control my body temperature, had horrible body aches, was making regular visits to the emergency room for IV drips. And, things like that were really beginning to affect my life. And, I had a wife and 2 beautiful daughters that I wanted to be around for. And this didn't look good where I was at. So that was my line in the sand moment. And, I bought in. It's like, I'm going to fix this. I don't really know how, but, I'm going to figure it out. And I'm going to start by, cleaning up some things in my diet. And, I want to get back to being active again. And what that means for me was certainly not going to the gym, but I like to play catch. I like to walk. I love to shoot baskets. You know that. I've never seen a shot I didn't like, right?
That's right.
So, throw me a Frisbee, whatever, I'm that guy. So I just started to get more active again. And, I had a goal of feeling better. And that was all I wanted to do, was feel better. And anything else that came from that was gravy, so to speak.
Brian, what I didn't ask you the first go round, and just so everyone knows, we've already done this interview, but I forgot to hit record. It's on me. So it's at least we've been able to rehearse it. But I didn't ask this, and I wanted to. When you decided you were going to clean up and take care of this, I think it's really important to know is that you went and you're the one that you didn't go to a doctor and say, what do I need to do? Or go to a physical therapist or a trainer. Mm-hmm. You went and figured it out, right? You went out. You're the one that did the research and figured out what is best for you. Is that correct?
Yep. No, this, for your audience, I was a stool sample away from getting into the whole doctor's side of all of this. Okay. They recommended that. And after my last IV, and I was like, nah, I'm not going down that road of doctors and all of that stuff. So I'm gonna figure it out. And that was enough motivation for me, that and my family, of course, to dig in and figure out, there's no great secret, right? The information's out there, right? All you got to do is want it bad enough and believe that you can change how things are. And I was in it hook, line, and sinker from the beginning. And, I got results really fast. The excess weight I was carrying, I think I lost about 35 pounds in a couple months' time. And I haven't looked back. I've been in the same 5-pound window with my body weight for 22 years. But more than that, all of the toxicity, the digestion, the acid reflux, the body temp problems, the IV drip, all of that is a thing in the past. And I couldn't be more grateful.
It's really nice to be able to, stick to it over the years and have, continued success with this, because I think what we're talking about here, and we'll read in the columns as well, is that, we all get so frustrated so quickly, with our health, but once it starts going right, like you mentioned, boy, it's a real effect. It just kind of snowballs after a while. You feel good.
Yeah.
And then you want to get to feeling even better than you feel. And that's what you're going to talk about in these columns over the next few months, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Don't let yourself get a little momentum. Oh my gosh. When you start stringing a few good days together and you start feeling better, and like Paul said earlier, you get going on something and then you miss a day and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I missed something. This is what I do now, and I missed it today. And circumstances happen, and that's okay for that day. But the idea is to get right back on there tomorrow. You have a fresh 24 hours the next day. And, you just jump right back on. And, I think the issue a lot of people have is they just get overwhelmed with looking at this entire year of 2024 as, I want to be here by the end of the year. And it's just too big of a thing to wrap your arms around. But if you can take it
small, don't you?
Sorry?
You have to start small, don't you?
Absolutely. Incremental changes, day by day, honestly. And if you can string a few of those good days together, you will start feeling it quickly. I guarantee you, your body wants that and it craves it. And when you start getting a little exercise and you start feeling a little more vital and having more energy, those afternoon crashes and stuff, you'll notice you don't have them anymore and things like that. So,
that's also one of the things you're going to talk about too, is healthy recipes.
Yeah, absolutely. In the beginning, I'm really trying to lay the groundwork of, where I'm coming from on this, and really kind of get into the mindset, especially here in January, of if you set a goal for yourself this year, maybe some different ways that you can think about coming at it. And we will be talking about different aspects of longevity and wellness. And there will be some, what I call clean recipes in there that are maybe cleaned up versions of some of your favorites, right? And ways that we can do things just a little bit better and get, a better result for ourselves.
Brian, what is, for someone like myself, I've got plenty of room to lose weight. I know let's be clear. This is not your message. This is how you lose weight. It's about a healthy overall. But just humor me for a second. Is it unrealistic to say I want to lose 2 pounds a month, 3 pounds a month, 4 pounds a month? When does it begin to get unrealistic?
I think a good average, honestly, is a pound or two a week is doable. And if you turn around at the end of the month and you find yourself somewhere between 5, 8 pounds lighter, I mean, hallelujah, right? Who wouldn't be happy with that? And best thing is you've got the next month ahead of you, and day by day you do the same things over again, and you can turn around and see, oh, dang, over 10 pounds now. Looking at 15 pounds, this feels good, and I feel like I have more energy during my day. The weight loss is almost something that comes with it. You know what I mean?
Right,
It's
right.
if you make it your main thing and just obsess too much on the number on the scale, so much other stuff. What does it look like for you outside of the weight? Do I have better energy during the day?
Right.
Am I more agile, more mobile, a little bit more flexible? Can I get up the stairs and go grocery shopping without being winded? Do I get better sleep? Do I wake up feeling refreshed? Things like this. Do I go to the bathroom every day? I mean, let's be honest, these are all things that we're going to be talking about, and regularity is one of those things that is part of a healthy life. So
yeah, exactly. Well, and then again, as you mentioned, don't overwhelm yourself and say, okay, I have a goal of losing X number of weight. If your goal is to lose 5 pounds a month in a year, wouldn't we both be happy to say that we're down 60 pounds, but we only did it at 4 and 5 pounds a month? That's all we focused on. Instead of trying to hit, I got to get to 60.
Yeah.
No, you only have to get to 4, 5 pounds, and you're going to lose between 48 and 60 pounds in a year. And we know how fast the years go by now. It goes by fast. Again, just trying to get in that mindset. And the simple things that you can do, like where we are, Brian, we're on the 3rd floor. There's no elevator. You got to go up 2 sets of stairs. You got to go down 2 sets of stairs. So like when you say, hey, take time out for a 10-minute walk, even if we just go outside and go down and walk around a block and come back up, I mean, we're getting a little bit different. It's just not a flat walk. And every day, you're going to feel that gets a little bit better, because I'll be honest. I know there's Steve. I know you're like this. I know Ron, who is in our office, and a couple others that say, boy, I don't want to go up those stairs. But when I do, I don't want to go back down until it's time to go, so the stairs are like intimidating.
I already did my walk today.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I walked through the downtown area and
Yep.
And it was cold, but it felt good.
Yeah.
Came back up the stairs and embarrassed myself in front of a woman.
Yep. And then came here and did a whole interview, and I tell you that I forgot to hit record, and we're doing it again.
Yeah. And I looked at the gal that was coming down the stairs, and I said, man, my heart's beating like a rabbit. And then I
watch it.
And I threw her an Olympia beer, and I said, "Hey, hold that. That'll be your handicap."
I don't even know where that came from. But we're talking. We're confusing the 2 interviews now here, and Brian.
Sorry.
It's a long.
You got it, Paul. Though, if I could say any one thing, just for starters, it would be walking. Walking. Yeah. It's just that simple. You don't need some, big Pilates plan or a personal trainer at the gym, especially if it's something that you've not done over the years. You're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to quit before you get started. And right about now in mid-January, let's be honest, most of those good intentions have already fallen by the wayside. So what's the very...
excuse me. Well, one thing that I do see and I've done this before, and I've heard a lot of people do this, is I've got a trainer, I'm going to the gym. And that seems to make them feel better that it should make them feel better because, they are attempting to do it, but, a week later they give it up and they didn't really do anything. So, you got to do something that actually matters.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm a big proponent. It doesn't matter how
big it is, but,
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big proponent of what I call stringing great days together. It really starts with one day. And if you guys have access to a walk and you've got a couple sets of stairs included in that, you're already ahead of the next guy. Okay. Little things like that. If you have to grab the handrail to get yourself up there, then do it, dude. You know what I mean? You're still taking the steps, and use your watch, use your phone, and set a timer. Push away from whatever you're doing and go walk for 10 minutes, and take those stairs and just. I mean, to coin a phrase, Nike, just do it. I mean, it sounds simplified, but if you break it down to, did I do it today? Right? I'm not committing to doing this 365 days, just one. I'm going to do it today, and then I'm going to do it again tomorrow. And I'm going to clean up something that I'm eating, and I'm going to remember to drink the right amount of water today. And you know what? You do that one day, and then another, and then another, and you're going to have a great week. And then you've gone and created some momentum for yourself. And then whenever it is the next time you step on the scale and notice that you might be, who knows, a handful of pounds down from that, you can be like, oh my gosh, I'm not stopping this. Now I feel unusual when I don't do it. I feel out of sync or weird. So, I feel like this is something that I can continue to do on a day-by-day basis.
Brian, do you suggest that when we do these walks that we get a headband and sweats and white shoes and a big bottle of water? Because I see a lot of people when they go walking, apparently if they go walking for a mile, apparently this overwhelming thirst overwhelms them, and they need this half-gallon thing of water that they're carrying with them. Do we need these extra? Do I need some sweatbands around my wrists and things like that?
You know what, Paul? I'll say this, and I think you'll appreciate it. Let your freak flag fly, baby. I mean, whatever if you got a white sweatsuit that you want to put on and a Jim Carrey headband from Cable Guide, do it. If that's what it takes. And let these people walk with their big old thermoses of water. If that's what they need to do, then that's right by them. And, they need to do that for whatever reason. And good on them for doing it.
I'm going to get some rayon shorts, too.
One quick story. I hope I'm not going over here. When I moved down to California, I worked at Tower Records on Sunset Boulevard. And Richard Simmons was one of my regular customers.
There you go.
There we go.
So he would come in and I would be like his personal shopper. So we had all kinds of laughs during that time, but you brought up the short, so I automatically just went back to Richard Simmons.
Oh, that's exactly what I was trying to convey.
Yeah, how about we not do that for now? Yeah. And you're up there in Centralia in the Washington area, so you're going to want to keep yourself warm there while you're out there walking.
Well, hey, Brian,
maybe by summertime.
That's part of my problem is, I'm so kicked out of shape I don't feel half my body anymore anyway. So that's part of the problem here. So, although I can see myself in some red striped, short shorts, Does Richard Simmons have a collection? Can we go to the Richard Simmons collection?
Nobody's seen Richard Simmons in about 10 years. So
there's a show on that.
Oh, really?
I found him, and
he
just said, I've had enough of everything.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been in hiding, basically a recluse here over the last good number of years.
Yeah,
but
there's actually a show out there on that somewhere. I saw it somewhere.
Yeah,
and basically said I just had enough of everyone, and I just I'm done. So
if you want the short shorts and the flowy tank tops, just go to danskin.com. I'm sure they got something for you.
Oh, man. I see we found a partner in our humor too.
Yes, exactly. Well, hey, Brian, before we go here, now that we know that you worked at Tower Records,
that's going to be a big deal.
Mohney's, boom, right up. Where do you get all your albums?
I go to Amoeba.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, absolutely, the legendary Amoeba. But no, I worked at Tower up in Tacoma first. And then when I moved down to California, they transferred me down to the Sunset Boulevard store. So that was an experience, as you might imagine. The regulars coming in there every day. That was a lot of fun.
Well,
right.
and there's just a terrific documentary on Tower Records. I don't know if it's
I've watched it twice. I've watched it twice.
Yeah, it's really good, isn't it?
It is really good, and it was different than everywhere else, and that came from the top up. Russ Solomon, the founder of Tower, he put that into every single branch of that store, and we had a rock snob attitude, and that was okay.
Well,
you knew where you had to go when you wanted to find the thing you wanted to find that wasn't at the warehouse or something. You know what I mean?
It made it fun.
Yeah.
It made shopping fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Well, we've got another podcast in the works. It's going to be focused on music. And when we get that thing put together, Brian, we may be calling you to jump in on that as well. So
I'm happy to be your expert witness.
Sounds good.
Brian Perman and Keeping Death at a Respectable Distance.
Sounds good.
It is on his, we have a page for him on the Eli Network.
Yep.
That will be connected to the Eli Sports Network as well. He's got a Facebook page. We're going to get a lot of information out on this here over the next week, Brian, and get you launched here. We can't wait to see what else you do. I know you're working on just putting the finishing touches on column number 2. And by the time this gets on, I think column number 2 will be on the board there, and folks can get started with this. And we can't thank you enough. We're excited about where this all could go.
I am too. And, no matter where you may hear this, when you go to the page and look at it, start with the first one first. Because like I say, that really kind of sets the table for what we're going to be talking about for the year to come. And then, work your way through from there. And yes, part 2 should be coming shortly, but start with part 1.
Yep.
Sounds good, Brian. Thank you very much for being on the Mohney Show. And we'll look forward to more conversation. And of course, folks can check out the conversation on Eli Network as well.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you, Brian.
And very welcome. Can't wait till the next one.
The real estate market is changing, and John L. Scott can answer your questions with a free market analysis. If you're a homeowner, it's really important to get a current market analysis. It only takes a few minutes of your time and contains valuable information about your biggest investment. This might be the year to make a move and take advantage of this market. For your free market analysis, see Laura Lee today at John L. Scott, 900 West Main in Centralia. And we're back on the Mohney Show. Paul Walker's with me.
I'm already feeling exhausted from that workout we had with the coach.
I need to hydrate. In fact, this is, I'm not sure what's in here, but it's got some vitamins and minerals.
To show you the type of athlete you're dealing with here,
yes.
You'll see this. I'll touch my toes. Look at
that's strong
look at
work.
that, huh? Right there.
That's
try. I got my. I'm in my workout gear.
Does Brian know who he's dealing with? Because I think if he actually knew what he was dealing with, he might not even want to give you any advice.
I was the class of 83, and he was in the class of 85.
Oh, okay.
So in between those years of getting to know me, there were a lot of these little bottles. They weren't a full bottle, but they were called stubbies. Of Olympia beer that introduced ourselves to each other back in the day. And by the way, as you know, during the interview, I think we talked about he worked at the brewery. His dad was a longtime employee there.
One thing that I didn't mention, again, I wasn't feeling that good during the interview, so take that into consideration. You guys were talking about mowing the beautiful grounds at the Olympia Brewery back in the day, and the rope and the lawnmower and all that stuff. I forgot to ask him if he remembers a guy, and I don't know if his last name was Murray, but he was Denny Murray's uncle, and he was the head groundskeeper.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure he knew him.
Yeah. So we should ask him about that.
We should do that.
Anyway.
Yes, exactly.
Go ahead.
And by the way, we're referring to the interview, but there was an incident in the interview. Steve's not feeling well. Doris isn't available, so we're doing it by ourselves, which is dangerous enough.
It is.
And we get through with about a 25-minute interview.
Yeah.
And I told him
I couldn't believe it. I just wanted to run out of here and go home.
I forgot to hit record.
Sure you did.
So So we had to redo it. But oddly, the redo's way better than the first one, folks. But we may have skipped a couple of things we covered.
No, it was way better.
Yeah, but we got a good feeling and
you're never going to make it as a techie engineer guy.
I keep telling you.
Okay.
I've never lied about that. And so that's what Brian's going to have his column on twice a month, and hopefully we're going to be able to do some other things, but he will make, appearances back and, on the show here with you as well. And we'll constantly kind of keep up with it. And you and I are going to get serious about this. So
absolutely.
Because we want to be fit and get back into shape so we can go out and do some things.
I've got a lot of things I'd like to do. And it's, I think one of the things I was thinking about the other day is, to be reasonably serious, Paul and I spent a lot of time on the radio. Obviously, I did the morning show for a long time and various other things as well. And going from radio to doing this is it's different.
Yes.
And, and I always, I didn't really think about it that much, but I mean, you're behind the mic and nobody's watching you.
Yeah.
So with this, it was always my concern, I guess. Boy, look at those guys sitting there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any negativity about it, you believe me, I look in the mirror every damn day. So you're not bringing anything up. I mean, right. Hey, is that all you got?
Exactly.
So yeah, and I've got 5 grandkids now.
Yep.
And and I'm very, very involved with all of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, I see them all the time. And so, yeah, I mean, I'd like to, get to the point where, you're mobile and like what Brian said during the interview, it's a matter of, flexibility.
Flexibility is a huge one. Like I said.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding. That's it.
It's,
so
it's just like,
guess what?
God,
guess what, Steve?
Yeah.
That's as close as I was when I was 18 as well. The baby,
Me too.
The family is not. We're not bendy.
No,
Never were.
You know what? You're not bendy, but I'll tell you what. You guys know an awful lot about sports.
Well, no, that's all fake. That's smoke and mirrors there, my friend.
Well, that and the fact that, what, Paul knows almost everything there is to know about horse racing. And we are going to.
Yeah, well, we're going to go to the track this year.
We're going to go to not only the track, but we're going to learn, about wagering.
Oh, you know what? We may even have a contest.
Now you're talking.
Oh, yeah. The Kentucky Derby.
Oh man. You win a shovel. which is nice.
No, it was a good prize.
I tell you what, I could use a shovel.
You got a shovel if your horse finished last. Got to clean up the track. Got to give him that.
I'll tell you what, I got $2 right now.
That was a brainchild of Mike O'Connor.
Yeah,
from long ago.
That was a great contest.
Yep.
I need a pitchfork.
Yeah, well, I think you had your choice back then, or we alternated. One year was a shovel, the next year was a pitchfork.
But at any rate, I think it does everybody some good to, get in better shape.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this
Choose
is why
wisely.
This is why I like the angle that we came at this with. And again, in the interview, Brian and I have been talking about this for at least 2 years.
Yeah, you told me that.
Really. And he really took some time, and it's at the angle of, no, we're not going to spend 3 hours in a gym a day, and we're not going to eat, 90 calories and stuff like that. It's for us. It's for the, if you're 21 and trying to get in shape to play college football next season, this probably isn't the program for you. So.
If you're 21 and you're watching this, I guess you're probably related to us. Maybe not.
Anyway, there you go. So, but again, just being able to feel good, get out and do things.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of things to do around here, right?
There's lots of stuff to do. And, there's tons of stuff to do even when it's pouring down rain outside. My chiropractor always says, get out there. He goes, raining. Who cares?
Yes. You live in Washington. So all kinds of stuff, camping, there's clam digging. I mean, if you're out of shape, you can't clam dig. Yeah.
I got the tail. Wait, the tail of the clam? Hold on. Got the tail end of it.
So, yeah, exactly. I got to tell you, though.
What? Gooey duck?
Well, no. We're talking about the beach, though.
Yeah.
So I don't use a scale. So I judge my weight by simply going down to the rent a horse, thing at the beach.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this should be a real singer, folks.
I will feel good about myself when the horses don't stampede away from me. They see me walking down and that dude's not getting on me. So when they don't do that, I'll know I've reached my goal.
Well, not only that, but I think this did happen one time. Paul went down to the beach to get a horse, and the horse jumped on you.
Exactly. Well, how do you like it? Well, you know what?
Okay.
All right. So I'm not sure Steve has taken my cue, Doris, several times here, right over his head, as I kept saying, it would be nice to be able to do things that we want to do, that maybe you have a list of things. So, Steve, once we get into shape, there are always a lot of things to do around here, right?
There's tons of things to do, including, biking.
Yep.
There's hiking,
climbing, and other things.
But there's other things going on as well.
Yes. And you're starting a new kind of weekly feature
happenings
here, right?
in Lewis County. So here's what's going on around the area this weekend.
Not only Lewis County, but maybe some surrounding areas as well. Yeah, so, Southwest Washington.
On Saturday, it's Ladies' Night with DJ Stead, and this is at McFiler's Chehalis Theater.
All right, good.
That's Saturday, 9:00. Sounds like just a great time.
Sure.
And man, do they have a lot of events coming up at McFiler's Chehalis Theater. So we've got Adam Ray. It's a comedy show, and that's on Friday, February 2nd. So that's really on the way. And just kind of skipping over some of the stuff. Roll On, a tribute to Alabama. That comes up on Saturday, March 2nd. So a ways away, but tickets are on sale for that as well. And they've got Heart by Heart.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's I think that one's in June. And that's the music of, obviously.
Heart.
Heart. Mm-hmm. Live music. This is coming up on Saturday. So January 27th, 7:00. And it's at the Eagles in Tenino. Two for You, the variety duo. And it's Johnny Ray and Landon J.
Okay.
I mean, if you're out and about looking for stuff, and Tenino's such a nice little town.
It is, but the Eagles Club, do you have to be a member, or can
you can have somebody sign you in?
Sign you in there.
So it says here, must be a member or signed in guest to get in.
All right.
They'll sign you in. Chris Gunther, Honky Tonk Trio. This will be at the Lincoln Creek Grange Hall. It's a fundraiser event. And again, that's on Saturday, January 27th, 7:00 this coming Saturday for that one.
Well,
and
good.
then
Excellent. Yeah.
At Jeremy's in Chehalis, they usually have live stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've got a lot of great live music there. It just kind of depends, but you can check their reader board out front, and they'll let you know. But this coming Friday, and the reason I'm saying this, I'm being kind of partial here, I guess.
Oh, well,
the Jazz Trio featuring Mike McQuigg. And if you don't, Mike McQuigg is one of my father's oldest friends.
Oh, okay.
And he is one of the greatest guitar players that's ever lived.
All right. Is he related to the Roger? Isn't that Roger McQuigg? Or is that a different?
You mean like Roger McGuinn?
McGuinn. I'm sorry. I knew it was a McGuinn. I knew it was a mix something.
No, but I mean, he could sit in with those guys. No, nobody with the Birds, but I mean, no, Mike McQuigg, local guy. We've known him forever. But if you wanna check out the Jazz Trio, that's on Friday night. So this coming Friday night, January 26th.
Check that out. Also, we will make an announcement here regarding the traditional Chehalis Music in the Park series.
Whoa.
We are close. We are close to releasing not only one of our acts, but they're all
done.
They're all, not quite done. That's why we're not releasing it yet.
Okay.
We're getting the final documents in order and signed, but the series is, unless something changes, it is in the books, and we'll be announcing that soon. We got some really, really fun bands coming up. One that folks already enjoyed and had a lot of fun. We got two others that I think are going to be huge.
Now, the one that we're talking about that's already been there, that wasn't during the food truck trailer fire.
No, that was not. No, that was not. That was Ty Herndon, and no, that was not. Yeah,
because I'm not sure if the person that was doing the announcements on stage has re-upped his
support,
his card.
his first aid card. I'm not sure that he needs it anymore in his new position, but you never know. So,
exactly. That's pretty much going to do it.
That'll do it for this week. We got a whole lot more. We're going to be doing some other things. As soon as we're done here, we're going to actually record another new segment that Steve doesn't even know what it is. I
have no idea. He came walking in here with papers.
Yep, this first time I came in with anything prepared.
Sinister look in his eye, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Again, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Thanks to Doris over there for helping out.
Woohoo!
And there's a lot of stuff coming. It's January. We're putting stuff together, and I've got a ton of different ideas for local content.
Yep.
And just I guess zaniness.
Yep, exactly.
Turn that on and just kind of listen to it and watch this or whatever. But that's this week's edition of the Mohney Show. We will see you next week.